Hello, welcome to August Board. Tonight we are going to be playing a Wicked Secret for Vaesen. So hopefully you can see the screen. And actually, let's see. Can you see the screen? Yep. Okay. So I'm going to read this out to you. This is this is what you get. I urgently request, to whom it may concern, I urgently request your assistance. My name is August von Meyer. I'm a forest owner and industrialist and own one of the largest sawmills in northern Sweden, located here in Härnösand, where I am working to modernize this region. To this end, I'm procuring heavily forested tracts of land and employing large parts of the local population in said areas. Some time ago, two of my employees, Mr. Gottfried Hammerstrom and his assistant, Niels Lindeskold, were sent to a small village called Farnsta, north of Härnösand. It is located deep in the woods, and the land was said to be highly fertile and abundant with forests. Hammerstrom was therefore responsible for ensuring a transaction between the villagers and yours truly. But now, alas, tragedy has struck. One night, poor Niels returned on horseback, wearing nothing but his nightshirt. He was in a frantic state, rambling about some evil beast he beheld in the village. Niels has not been the same since, can barely speak. Hammerstrom is missing, and I fear that what may have befallen poor Gottfried. I sense that something is amiss. There is more to this than meets the eye. That's why I'm writing to you. I would like to enlist your services in uncovering the truth about what is happening to Hammerstrom and stopping the beast mentioned by Mr. Lindeskold at any cost. You come very highly recommended, and your expertise will be invaluable in our current predicament. Should you accept this task, you will, of course, be highly rewarded. Please reply with utmost haste, for time is of the essence. I shall wait for you in Härnösand to explain more and arrange your trip to Farnsta. Sincerely, August von Meyer. So, thoughts? Thoughts.
Well, it's interesting that that only Gottfried is missing, and that Nils is actually was returned to civilization. Although it must have happened in the night for him only to be in the nightshirt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any other thoughts? In terms of preparation, is there anything you'd want to do? Anything you want to do? So you can do things like searches. You can look in the library to check out the area. Check out people.
Interesting to know about not only the village, but I guess we probably don't know about August and his business himself.
Okay, so
certainly the village, I think, would be good to research.
So somebody wants to do a learning rule. So that's going to be logic and learning, and you might have bits and pieces that might help you with that. I'm just wondering if people do. Your Shell does, so we'll just she's off to visit a relative at the minute.
She's generally our learner.
Yeah, but there's other people learning.
Yeah, I don't have good learning and logic.
I've got a 3. I've got 3 dice as a total.
I've got 7.
Oh,
that's
for learning.
That's much better than me. I've only got 4.
Yeah.
Although
but then I roll and it could be something completely different.
Yeah, there is this problem of but it's Gabriella.
Yeah.
Have you sacrificed the dice?
Oh.
Yes, she has.
Got 7.
It might be in luck. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I haven't rolled those other ones yet. 3 6s.
Okay,
Well,
so basically you can tell quite a lot about the area. It's very small. The village is very small and remote, and you can tell it'll be very isolated from the outside world. It's going to be back end of nowhere, turn left kind of place. So there's not a lot of information about it other than it's in the middle of nowhere. You can dig up information about the local logging industry. So you know that at this point in time, the logging industry is one of the big leading industries in the country, in Sweden, particularly up in the north. There are huge sawmills that have got lots of workers that were built on the coast, and timber's treated and then moved to those. They tend to be constructed in the lower parts of rivers, where they're used for so-called log driving, where logs are floated downstream to the mills. And you can tell that August has been involved. He's been extremely successful, and he's very, very wealthy, building a logging empire in northern Sweden by purchasing much of the Angermanland forests. You hear that he's got a reputation for employing locals. He doesn't bring his people in. He employs locals wherever he invests, and this means he's got a really good reputation. People are quite pleased to see him investing in an area because they know that the quality of their lives is going to go up. He describes it as an opportunity to bring civilization to the north. They see it as an opportunity to make some money and improve their lives. So there's quite a lot of information, but it's general information at this point.
Can we do we find out any information from news reports of previous attacks or previous rumors of a beast in the area?
There's nothing that's written down, but it's not unusual for people to be attacked by animals in the forests.
No.
At night, and you could surmise that these are not local people, so they've maybe went into an area they shouldn't have or something like that.
Okay.
Wouldn't be unusual, be perfectly possible. But he seems to have a bit of trust in them that they wouldn't be stupid. So something seems to be at play here.
It reminds me a little bit of our last mission, where there was a lot of prosperity kind of there's a lot of money being made by a certain family, and it's because they had some kind of deal going on with a Vaesen. So I think we should bear that in mind.
Yeah, but August, by the sounds of it, he's a lot more philanthropic than we've previously encountered.
Yeah.
And rather than being just a single central point.
So he might not be making the same kind of human sacrifices, but there may be some involvement somewhere.
Yeah.
In terms of the place, just to let you see, so your Harnesand is at the coast, and then Farnstedt is well inland. I mean, it is just literally in the middle of the forest.
Yeah.
So it's a clearing in effect with villages, Logan Village. Would you like to try and buy anything?
Okay.
Is there anything that's relevant that you think actually that might be helpful? And bear in mind that as you buy it, you can basically you can keep one thing to the next mission, so you can build up equipment. Let's go check something as well.
I don't think we have lots of money.
No, you're not the wealthiest.
No, not yet.
Not
yet. See, I say not yet.
It's a very positive spin on being poor as church mice, but there we go.
Yeah.
So there's some things that you could. I'm just trying to remember how you buy things. It's terrible. Oh yeah. So you roll the number of dice. So your party's expected to procure equipment for the expedition at the start of the mystery before you head off as part of the preparation phase. So each player rolls the number of dice indicated on the resources. The number of sixes can then be used to purchase equipment. So why don't you do that? So roll your resources. Some of you will need not very many dice.
Yes.
If you get any sixes, tell me.
I got a 6.
One dice, 1 6.
One dice, 1 6.
Oh,
Wow.
very good.
And you
I got
can
two.
pull things if you want. So you can say, well, actually, why don't we work together in this? But it's up
Me
to
and
you.
Rasmus. You kidding?
So there are 2 6s in the party. No 6s? Other? No?
I got a 6.
Okay, so there's 2 6s.
2 5s.
So, and if you look at, I mean, you could get, it really depends on what you think is going to happen.
Would a hunting trap be worthwhile?
It might be. It might be.
I have hunting equipment.
Yeah. The hunting equipment.
I already have.
It does different things. So basically, hunting trap means that you can detect sneaking people. Hurricane lamp would do something similar, and that it would mean in darkness you could detect sneaking people with vigilance.
Okay.
And would cost the same. You could buy both if you really want it, actually, in that circumstance. You could buy a slide rule. You could buy some fine wines, but you've already got liquor.
Is there anything, because Shelley's not here tonight, is there anything that we're lacking from there that perhaps we might be able to make up for?
Not. Her camera would be useful, but it's 3. I would say. Let's have a look. So. There's not a book collection you could pick up, which would improve your learning. But to be honest, that tends to be used at the start of the mission more. But you might want to pick up books if you want to improve learning. It'll give you plus 1. It really is up to you guys. Whatever way you think it's going to go, if you've got the list in front of you, you could get enlist a barber in the true spirit of the times, or what other extravagances? A bathing facility. Sorry.
Okay.
Weapons wise, you're okay. So I don't know. It's up to you. But what I would say is it's worth doing because you can keep whatever it is to the next mission. So you're allowed to keep something.
How about a guard dog?
We have a hunting dog already.
We have a hunting dog. Oh.
Yes, we have a hunting dog. I'm a hunter. Of course I've got a hunting dog.
Yeah. I mean, one that might be quite useful is chemical equipment for a lot of missions, and not necessarily this one, but if there's dead bodies involved, it means you can determine cause of death.
Mm.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Like there's the portable laboratory, but that's 3.
Yeah.
I think the hurricane lamp was quite good as well. So
yeah,
I like the idea of the of being able to determine the cause of death. So the chemical equipment, I like the hurricane lamp.
It comes down to what way you want to play, really. And
I think for this scenario, I'd like to have a hunting trap. But I think, if we had the hunting trap and the hurricane lamp.
So can you afford that?
Well, we got 2 6s, didn't we?
And are they 2 1s? Yeah, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both 1.
It spreads your bets a little bit.
It does, doesn't it? although I know that the hunting trap is great on vigilance, but the hurricane lamp is great on investigation and vigilance. So, we okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
happy with that.
Okay, so who wants to take what bit?
I want the trap.
Okay. And as I rolled the other six, I'll have the hurricane lamp. Yes.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. Is that best? Because I've got investigation and vigilance. Who would it be best to go to? Probably not me, to be fair.
I've already got a tinderbox which helps me see in dark places. But I do have quite high. My investigation's 2 and my logic is 4. So normally I'm a 6, but obviously I've already got a tinderbox, so I don't necessarily need the hurricane lamp. So
I was going to say my logic's at a 5, so I guess anything I add to that ends up pretty high anyway.
Yeah, which I think is probably best, because if I have it, then it takes me to a 4, which is I guess a bit pointless if we've got you with a higher amount there.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Gabriella should have it, I think.
That's the hurricane lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right, so I've just picked up a message from Shell, so I'm just replying to it.
It works. The hunting trap works well with my hunting dog.
Now, next wee bit, I suppose, is to think, okay, so advantages, and also, Rasmus, your talent. I'm just trying to remember how your talent worked. So you basically pick out somebody, didn't you? And
Yeah.
you
So
roll.
I had Isaac in the bar last time.
So let's see what we can do. It's going to be you can make a manipulation test to create an NPC. If you fail, this may not end well. So you do your manipulation test and let me know how it goes, and then we create an NPC.
So manipulation is that should be fine. Should be fine.
Famous last words.
Yeah. Yeah, 1 success.
It's enough. It's enough. So the character is going to be a guy called Root, who is you met whenever he was trading in another town, one of the big towns that you travel through. And Root is he was just bringing some stuff that he'd grown into town, and you got chatting in a bar, just for a change. So, and he basically he owes you a favour, but because you helped him out, his cart had basically, the wheel had come off it, and you helped him to get it back on again. And that's how he remembers you.
What was the name? Was it Loot or Root, did you say?
Root, R-U-T.
Okay.
Lot. He is Groot. Sorry. So, yeah. And then so we're going to do, I'll tell you a bit about the journey. And actually, if you want, what we'll do tonight is we'll do this a bit differently. We'll say playing a scene. Let's try it as a scene as you go through the journey. So think of what advantage you would like. And remember, you can use it once in the mission. And basically, we'll try and play it so as we go along. So the journey is going to be from Uppsala north. Is going to be a long one. First by train, before taking a stagecoach. It's springtime, and the day of the departure is a warm, sunny spring day. The sound of steam whistle fills the air at the station, along with clouds of black smoke. It is a 24-hour train ride with the night spent on board. Does anybody want to play a scene, or anybody got an idea about what their advantage is, and we can work out a scene for it?
There was something I wanted to ask as well about, because obviously I don't particularly want to go into something new with a condition. I'd like to try and get rid of it.
So you had a condition, and
yeah, and I have one as well.
So medicine. Has anybody got medicine?
Yes.
Okay, can you roll a medicine check? I think
that a skill and attribute.
Yep.
Yep. 1/6.
1/6. Now let me just double check something. So medicine checks. I think the way it works is you basically clear so many. Let's double check. 71. So you spend a full day. You and your patients must spend a full day in treatment. So we'll assume you're dead over the period. You cannot do anything else that day. Use medicine. You can heal up to 3 conditions, and it can be spread. So that would be enough to clear 2 it's 2 conditions. So each of you's got 1 condition. Is that right?
I've got a condition, and Gabriella and Maddie.
So that's enough.
I've only got one. I've got 1 condition.
So that's enough to clear them. But if there was more conditions than that, then you would need to spend more time than that. So you don't want them to mount up too much.
Great, well done, me.
Yay, thank you.
So
Thank you.
Oh, herbs, spices, kind of pasted people in the
Yeah.
and suddenly, as you whistled,
right.
it was
Okay,
unbelievable. Right, so advantage-wise, what are we thinking?
The stealth, I think.
Pardon?
I think stealth for myself.
Yeah. So that'll give you a one-time bonus. Don't forget you've got it. Okay, yeah. So I think it'll be, so the temptation is to go, oh, right, you know, it's one of those things I would forget, basically. So it'll increase your chance of success. You'll be able to explain. You have to declare whenever you're using it. Basically, you get 2 extra dice for a stealth check then, but it's only for 1. So it's a really important stealth check. So how are you going to?
And they don't stack from last time. So I had observation last time, and I've lost that.
Yeah, I've lost that. So you lose it each. You lose it each time, basically.
That's fine.
So how are you going to get that? What do you think on the train? What's it going to do?
It's a 24-hour train, and I'm a restless character as by nature. So with lots of people sleeping around, I'm just moving up and down the train, and I might spy myself a nice bottle or something to eat, which maybe I've taken while somebody's sleeping.
So basically, you're getting through the train and pilfering. Well, not pilfering. You're borrowing things.
Yeah, absolutely.
On a very long-term basis.
I've returned the bottle.
Yeah. And the rest evaporated overnight. Alcohol's got it's a very volatile substance. Anybody else?
Yeah, I just got a new talent of dual weapons, so I want to work on those skills of being able to inflict more damage with the dual weapon. So I'm going to spend my time
working marksmanship.
Yeah, dealing with my marksmanship, but also my close close combat.
Okay, so
yeah, I want to increase my close combat because I've got the dual weapons.
So close combat, how could you improve that?
I'm going to work on my jiu-jitsu skills.
Okay, so you're
I'm going to be doing rope, going to do hand-to-hand, work on that, and my agility and flexibility. So while he's pilfering up and down the thing, the train, I'm going to be doing yoga up and down the train.
Cool. So yeah, that makes sense. And so Ingrid.
I think Gabriella, are you quite good at observation?
No.
Astrid, it's not Ingrid. Sorry, I was thinking.
Oh yeah, how I put Ingrid?
I don't know. I was going.
You put Ingrid.
Oh, just.
You're really confused about your identity, aren't you?
I was Ingrid, wasn't I? I changed to Astrid, and now I've changed it back bizarrely.
Am I human? Am I not? I don't know.
Who knows? I am a bit confused, to be fair.
I'm easily confused most of my life.
Oh, Gabriel doesn't skip. So maybe it was Shell that was really great at observation. I think what it might be is that I'm really missing. I'm really missing Shell and her camera.
Yeah.
And so basically I've been trying really hard to develop those skills myself, and I knew that she wasn't going to be able to come with us, so I did a little bit of research beforehand. I brought some papers of hers with me on the train.
So you're working on observation. So
I'm working on observation.
Cool. So you've been going through some of her notes and trying to make sense of them. Cool.
Yeah.
Gabriella.
See, I was going to go either observation, manipulation, or force. I don't know. I'm beginning to think maybe manipulation could be a good one.
What I would say is that you tend to do individual rules for force, and you tend to do team rules for manipulation. So it tends to be, if it was a choice between the two, I personally would probably go to force, because at some point you're like, if you think back to the last mystery, it would be useful to have force to stop you getting swept out to sea, kind of thing. So it can be,
yeah.
Same I think I'd probably,
yeah. No, yeah. I will go force then for skill. So it will be. I probably would have on the journey maybe found like an empty room somewhere and just put the knuckle dusters on and just practiced a few swings.
Do press ups and
build my skill up a bit.
Well, just in case because you're scarred by the memory of what happened the last time. So the steady green of the Swedish countryside slides past the windows. You can see snow on the mountaintops as you continue further and further north. Anga is currently as far as the railway goes from southern Sweden. The journey continues now by stagecoach for 2 more days with overnight stops along the way. The air is crisper and cooler, and the flowing of brooks is heard outside. Closeness to nature is felt throughout your whole body. Finally, you come to Härnösand and find von Mayer's sawmill located near the Angerman River. And you see several cargo ships being loaded with timber, as well as a huge number of logs being floated down the river. It's a very impressive sight. The sawmill is a modern steam-powered affair, and the loud roar of steam engine blends in with the sound of numerous toiling workers. You're greeted by von Mayer, and let's see if I can get him up on the screen. So you're greeted by this gentleman, and he's quite. He's very straight. He's very precise in the way he speaks. Very broad shoulders, good posture, and he's very well kept. He's got a deep baritone voice that commands respect. So you can see why people listen to him. Hello. I believe you're the party that I invited from Uppsala.
Yes, that's right.
How can you come with me to my office? And he brings you into this very well furnished office. Is there anything you want to know? Is there anything you would wish to know about before you help me to solve this problem?
Tell us what happened.
Well, Hammerstrom and Lindeskold were tasked with purchasing land on my behalf, and they left for Farnstad 2 weeks ago. Farnstad is important to me. The area is heavily forested, so it's said to be very fertile. It's a good long-term investment. Basically, in the middle, let me just see if I can find it. Sorry. In the middle of the night, Lindeskold appeared in nothing but his nightclothes, rambling in a most distressed state. He was utterly, I don't know what way to put it, but he's clearly disturbed by what happened, and has lost his ability to keep his nerves together. These villages are extremely remote. They've had no contact with the outside world, and they're more or less self-sufficient. I only send people to them who know how to handle themselves in this situation. And something has happened. He is not a man who goes to pieces. I've known him a significant amount of time. Lindeskold is a man I trust, and I'm most concerned. But he came into the village distressed, afraid, and raving about something that had happened. Raving about a death, raving about Hammerstrom being killed by a beast. But it doesn't make any sense to me. I want you to find out what happened. I want you to find out what, if there is this beast, if there is a beast, if it's not just a wolf. I would like you to take over Hammerstrom's task, which was to see the deal of buying the land through. So I'd like you to facilitate that, because this place is so remote, I cannot send other people. I will employ you to do that. You're more than welcome to do it if you can, and you will be handsomely rewarded if you can. But my priority is to make sure that if there is a beast, that it is dealt with, and that it does not disrupt my plans further.
Who currently owns the land?
It's currently owned, I believe, by, and this is from what I'm aware, by the. If I can find it, there are a number of people who own different parts of the land. There are the Skit family, and also, if I can find it. Sorry, bear with me. There's a sawmill owned by Marta Karlstrom, but it's mainly the Skit family that owns the land itself. I believe it's Dorothea Skit who owns the land, most of the land.
And do you know if she's willing to sell the land?
The negotiations were going quite well. and I have no reason to believe that she wasn't. I don't force people to sell to me.
Did your employees, did they have the money to buy it, or were they there just for negotiation?
They were there for negotiation. The money would go through the banks themselves. I do everything properly.
Of course, of course. How, you say they went 2 weeks ago? How long ago was it that that Linsold came back?
It was a few days ago. Basically, I sought advice and was aware of your activities on the coast earlier on this year, or last year, at the end of last year. And I got the message to you promptly. So it was a few days ago, 4 days ago.
They were gone just over a week.
Yes.
Okay.
I have arranged accommodation for you with actually Marta Karlstrom, who owns the sawmill, because she's involved. She's the village head, as well as owning the local sawmill. There is some nonsense about this place that some of my people have said that other villages in the region have warned about Farnsta. And they say that the people have the blood of God on their hands, despite their old church, and that there are many disturbing things that are going on there. Many in the village, in the neighbouring communities, are grateful that we stay away. They are not particularly fond of the place, but you'll find out if you, on your journey to the region, you stop off it, and then you'll probably find out more.
How long will it take us to get there, do you think?
It will take a couple of days. You'll probably be there by nightfall. It's Friday today. You'll be there by nightfall on Sunday, assuming I don't see a priest in your ranks, so I'm assuming you'll be fine travelling in the Sabbath.
Yeah. Yes, we'll do that.
Niels now, is he still there, or is he back somewhere? Has he gone somewhere else?
He is here. He's here. If you'd like to talk to him, he's not in a good state. I should warn you. He has lost his mind. It's very, very sad. But you're feel free to try to unpick the traumatized mess that man's mind is now. It's so sad. He's such a good man. You don't come across them often.
Can I ask, what do you plan to do with the land? Is it for logging?
It will be logging. I want to modernize this area. I want to bring civilization there. I want to create enough wealth that people will be able to feed their children, and if they get sick, to provide treatment for them. I will make some money out of it, of course. That's how business works. But you can see I've got enough money. It's ultimately I want Sweden to be a modern nation among the family of nations, and this is how we achieve it.
Is anybody who's offered any resistance, or is everybody quite happy with what you're doing with single land and
there are always people who lack vision, and have concerns about outsiders in these remote communities. I do have to say that Farnsta does strike me as a slightly odd place, but it's not so much resistance as just lack of inertia is maybe a better way of putting it. Things are the way they've always been in these remote places. if you would like to chat to Niels, I can get one of my people to take you down. He is locked in a room in the sawmill because we have a certain degree of fear that he will harm somebody. And while we arrange more appropriate care for him, hopefully he'll calm down a little bit. But it's been several days and he hasn't calmed properly yet.
That's very kind of you. We would like to speak with him, yes.
Okay, so Ingrid, would you like to take them down? And basically his secretary comes and leads you down to the sawmill. As you approach the room, you hear sobbing through the door. And the door opens, and you can hear the door. As you go up to the door, they say, "Are you sure you want to go in? Do you want to go in, or do you want to? Are you sure about this? Because he is in a very bad state."
Have we got the ability to treat him? Have we got medicine that may do that?
It would be very difficult for you to do that.
Take a long time.
Yeah, it's not. You'll see.
You might maybe want any of our help.
So do you want to go in?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. As the door opens, you see a 30-year-old man. Doesn't really look like very much. He's got a small moustache. He's got a pocket watch. He's well dressed, and he's curled up in the corner. And he is sobbing. And whenever he sees you, he just goes, "Why? What? The eyes! The eyes! They're staring at me! Devil eyes! Devil eyes! Staring! Just staring out of the darkness!" And just bursts into tears. Gottfried.
What happens to Gottfried?
And tears just stream down his face whenever he hears the name. Again, he just the tears just roll down his face, and he starts to convulse in tears. And he just can't speak for a minute or two. He's just incapable among all the tears and snot. It's a proper distraught man you're looking at. And he settles down a little bit. You can see lots of scratches across his face, like little tiny scratches, and you can see them on the back of his hands as well. That there's like thorn scratches.
Okay, they don't look self-inflicted.
No,
right. Okay.
He's very, very thin as well. He looks and looks like he hasn't slept in several days. It's the beast. That beast. Those eyes. That huge beast, and those demonic from hell red eyes.
How big was this beast? Was it bigger than a man?
It's huge. Oh, the eyes. And he closes his eyes, and then he opens them really wide. Whenever my eyes are open, I can't see the eyes. Whenever my eyes are open. Can you make the eyes go away?
Where did you come across the beast?
The eyes. Damn place. The eyes. if anybody wants to roll a medicine check, might be an idea. Just see, but the eyes are just they were in the dark. The dark.
The medicine check's not a strong one for me. I don't know if anyone else is.
I've got a 7.
Oh, that's the one, Astrid.
The eyes they just stared at me all the time, never blinking, never looking away. I was its prey. I was its prey.
Hope they're not. Come on, guys.
Prey. Please roll quickly because I'm running out of things to say. I was its prey.
I'm trying.
Time to roll one dice a minute.
How did you escape? No, how did you escape?
Never escape it. I'll never escape it.
Oh no, no 6s.
It just bursts into tears and just curls up in the corner and screeches, starts screeching. And then, without any warning, he charges at Rasmus. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna dodge initially. Yeah, and then probably grab him.
Okay, so can you roll
restrain him?
a force check?
Force check. Force. It's not gone good.
Not good?
No.
So he kind of just takes a chunk out of your hair and then he starts beating himself. Just slapping himself. Eyes! 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 And withdraws off into the corner. Eyes! Eyes! And the person who came with you says, you need to leave. You need to leave now. Get out of this room. And pulls you out.
Well, that went well. We made him worse. Rasmus has got had half his hair pulled out.
That's only a little bit.
We tried to help him. It didn't work. Herbs were useless.
Yeah. Treating and restraining neither worked. Yeah.
Sorry, I should have had that up on the big screen because it would have been more fun watching your faces when I was. There was a couple of moments where you could just see. I think it was whenever I howled a bit. So yeah. So August.
We just think you're overacting. We just
nothing new there then.
Where was Rutz based? Was he here? Did you? I didn't catch where he was located. I know you said we'd met in a bar, but
he's located in the village. So he's from the village, or he's from a nearby village. Actually, he's not from the village itself. It's the place you're likely to stop off.
Fine.
So August appears down, and he says, as you're basically as you're he wanders down quite calmly, and he just says, he's not in a good place. And it worries me deeply because I considered him a friend as well as an employee. I know this man's family. Please find out what happened. And he indicates to his assistant, give them one of my stagecoaches. They'll take you up to Farnsta. And here's some money to get you through this mission. Find out what happened.
I'll take the money. I'm not leaving it with Rasmus.
I don't know why I'm getting a level of negativity every now and then.
It might be because you said that you were stealing stuff to improve yourself.
It's my sixth sense.
So to be fair, the fact she's taking it means nothing. She just nick it off her in her sleep.
You can try.
So you set off. It's a day's journey by coach. Well, it's a couple of days by coach. So you set off. The first stop that you go to is an inn, and you stay overnight in the inn. Rasmus does indeed run into Root. I am not going to overact Root because I've only got so many overacting moments in my day.
No, go for it.
Really? So, Rasmus, what do you... Oh, Rasmus, what... I know you.
Roots.
I am Root. Sorry.
I am Roots. How are you, my old friend?
I am slightly disturbed by your presence here because I owe you a favour. What would you like? And you've come over to me in a bar.
That is. How's that old cartwheel of that old cart of yours? Still
You
running?
really do want to cash in this favour, don't you? At least get me a drink first before.
Yes, actually, I happen to have some liquor, so I'm quite happy to share some of that.
What would you like? How can I help? I don't have any money, and
no, that's fine. We're on our way. We're heading over to onto Farnster.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah.
Is that good? Do you really want to go to Farnster?
Oh, you sound quite anti it. Is it not nice there? What's the deal with it?
It's a weird place. You know what they say about people from Farnster, don't you?
No.
Basically, they're not right. They're. I mean, people up here are quite insular, but they're in a different league.
So it's a bit like Luton.
Where?
Luton. It's a bit like Luton.
I have never heard of this okay. Exotic place that you talk of. All I would say is this inn is 20 miles away. There has never been a person from Farnster in this inn. People don't leave Farnster. They just stay in it. It's like, it's a weird place. That church of theirs gives me the creeps as well.
Why is that?
Something not right about it. I don't know. It's just something. They keep going on about it for a start, and anything that people from Farnster. I had to do some business there, and to be honest, I was glad to get out of it. They went on and on about this church and how wonderful this church was, and they were proud of it because it was so old. But to be honest with you, it just creeped me out because I swear they've all got 6 toes. You know, it's an inbred, crazy place. There's some very old people there. I mean, if you're into, you're not a superstitious man, are you?
No, not at all.
Some of the local crazies, okay, in this area, say that the blood of God is on their hands. If you understand what that means, you're a better man than I am. The blood of God is on people's hands in Farnster. They are guilty. They're all guilty. That's what they say.
Okay, sounds like fun.
Oh, I mean, looking on the bright side, you'll increase the gene pool if you go.
Yeah.
Probably the first visitor they've had. And, oh no, there was those 2 guys.
What are they going to be doing when we're there?
I dread to think.
Knowing
Rasmus.
Well, yes. Well, if I've got anything to do with it.
Who knows with Rasmus? There was a cold bird.
But you just touched it on the route. You mentioned 2 others that were heading that way.
Yeah, they headed up. I don't know what happened to them. They stopped off at the end. They were nice guys. From Mayor. and sent them up. You know, the big logging track?
Oh, I think I know the guys. Was it Gottfried and Nils?
Yeah, they bought a round of drinks one night. They were very jolly that night.
That sounds like them. Did they? Do you know what happened to them at all?
I don't know. I haven't been to the. This is my first night to the inn.
Okay. You just saw them heading there.
7 children. I'm not allowed out very often. You know how it is. I basically spend my time hiding in the barn.
Okay.
So did you see the guys when they were going?
Yeah, they were.
Were
they fun.
They all right?
Yeah, they were very posh. I mean, they're all mayor's men are. You know, they're all well moneyed. But you know, he pays good wages. If you can get work with him, he's a good employer.
And how about the other logging people? Marta Karlstrom. Do you know much about her?
Farnsta. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, okay.
How on earth they get the trees out, I have no idea, because they don't let anything. You know, basically, they're not. They must just throw them at the edge of the road or something, and people come and pick them up because they never leave the town.
What about the Skip family? They own the land round here, don't they?
Not round here.
Up near Farnstaff, though.
I don't know. I like I said, I've only been once. I know a little bit, but it's weird. It's a weird place. I only know about the logging because I was going to try and get a job with Mayor, and I kind of wanted to get some experience.
So when you said the trees never leave town, so Marta's got a sawmill. So they chop down the trees, they have the sawmill, and then
they must just chuck them. I reckon they just chuck them. And, wow, I don't know. But the people never leave. They must have people come in and take them out, because they
put them in the river, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, but they're on a whole new level of don't get freaked out by the modern world. You know, they are very odd.
They've got a church there, but do they have a priest? Who runs the services in the church?
Oh, there is a priest up there, I believe. Don't know who he is. I'm not really into all that stuff. It's getting to know it. I don't have enough time for that. God bothering. But to be honest with you, it's just a really strange place. As a matter of fact, for some reason, whenever I think of it, all that comes into my head is a banjo going ding 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 ding. I don't know why. I don't know where this comes from. It's an odd thing. It's almost like something that hasn't been invented yet. I don't even know what a banjo is.
Do they keep a lot of pigs there up at the?
I don't know. I was just dealing I was selling some hay for some horses because I couldn't shift to anywhere else.
Just thought you might have had them.
Is there anything else that would be useful to know for our journey to Farnsta?
Yeah, I do remember one thing that would be useful. Bring drink with you, because it's pretty boring. It's a very boring place. It's dull. They're weird. They're just weird.
Okay.
Speaking of weird, this conversation is very strange. I'm going to play cards.
Right. Thank you very much for your time. You've been awesome, and I'll watch out for you in your cart next time on the road.
Oh, you're going to keep bringing up the cart forever, aren't you? Every time I see you.
Well, I had to that day, didn't I?
Yeah. Oh, it just wanders off. Okay, so you stay overnight. Nothing really happens. It's just an inn, and you make your way up So, basically, the roads become, the further you get, the worse the roads become. The sky is increasingly hidden by trees. There's very few people come this way, it shows. The sun's already set whenever you arrive in Farnstead, but the tower of the old stone church can be glimpsed in the moonlight. It's the only stone building in the village, and I'll show you a picture of the place if I can. Where are we at? Yeah, everything. The rest of the village, it's made in wood, basically cabins, and everything's made in wood except for the stone and the church. It's not much to look at. There's houses for the villagers, a modest general store, and a post office. A simple village hall. Stagecoach rolls deeper into the village, and near the end of the high road, the player, you can see, the sawmill by the Farnstead stream before the coach turns off towards Marta Karlstrom's house. It's a beautiful ornamented building with lumber, whose lumber is a testament to its age, so you can tell it's been around for a long time. Now, I'm going to just see if I can get the next. Yeah, so this is the layout of the village, really, if you can see that. So you've got it's just a little tiny village, a little clearing, and it really is quite small. So you come into Marta's home, and I'm going to have to see if I can get this to.
That's a very big graveyard.
It's a very old church. But they can't. It was consecrated for a long time. The ground isn't really a problem here, to be honest. So let's see if I can find. So Marta comes out to greet you. She is very, very friendly. She smiles and sort of, oh, welcome. It's so good to see you. I believe you're the party that August sent up. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
I'll show you. You're obviously exhausted. I mean, it's been a long trip here, and those roads are something else. I'll show you where you stay. Her home is 2 stories tall, built from dark lumber, and it is absolutely exquisite. I mean, there's nature motifs carved into the facade. It's a beautiful building. And she tells you that the house has been in her family for generations, and it's located near her sawmill, which belongs to her. The hand-carved nature motifs occur throughout the house, so they're all over the place. And she shows you your room, which is up the stairs, and it's got comfortable bunk beds. Would you like a meal? Would you like? Have you eaten? I'll get you something. And she brings you, and she gives you a meal of venison, beer, and a splash of aquavit. She basically chats away, and she's very, very friendly. So, how can I? Do you want to go to your room? Whenever you want to go to your room, just go. You don't need to stand on parade here. Treat this as your home. Treat this as your home.
Thank you. That's very, very kind of you.
What kind of host would I be if I was not?
Did Niles and Guthrid stay here as well with you?
No, They weren't here very long, but they did stay here. Yes, they did. There's something awful what happened. Awful.
It did happen.
Who knows? Strange things happen sometimes whenever people are, away from things, whenever they're not used to it. But I don't know exactly. I would say we'll talk about it in the morning. Now's not really the time. You're obviously exhausted. So I would say, retire and rest, because tomorrow's going to be a busy day. I'll help you if you wish. I can show you around the village and introduce you to people. But if you want to do your investigation yourself to find out what happened, August is August, but we shall see.
Okay, maybe we need to wait till morning, eat and retire.
Okay. So, so at breakfast, she basically comes down. As you come down the stairs, she greets you, and there's a massive breakfast set out in front for you. And basically she asks, she says, you'll be able to see the village in its true nature. Now, we've always been very close to nature. As you can see, this is a place in the middle of the forest. This village is part of the forest, and we are proud of it. We are proud of this place. If there's anything you want to know, I can help you regarding it.
So who owns most of this forest?
That would be the Skits, Dorothea Skit. She's the largest landowner. I would not trust the Skits. They have an interesting slant on things. They don't. There's something not trustworthy about these people.
Did you see Guthrid and Nils before they went into the forest?
They stayed. They didn't stay here. They stayed at one of my buildings. They did come and see me. Mm-hmm. It was felt that it was not appropriate for them to stay with me, because you've met August. You know he likes things to be done properly and above board, and because I'm the village leader, and because he is trying to purchase the land, it was considered unwise and unseemly for them to stay with me. But they came to ask to see me and wanted me to sell my sawmill to the mayor, Von Mayor. I'm aware of him as a competitor. I needed time to think about it, to be honest. The sawmill has been in my family for generations, and I've modernized it. It is better than it was. It is my pride and my joy, but I've made a point of modernizing it in such a way that it is close to nature and does not destroy our environment. We manage these trees carefully here. And August is a good man, but we do something special here. So I did see them, but it was only the morning before whatever happened.
So what do you do special with the trees around here?
We whenever we cut one down, we plant one immediately. We take care of our environment. We rely on this place. We are not visitors to this environment. We live in this environment. We must take care of it so it can take care of us. Because if we do not, we will lose our livelihoods. And we have no other place to go.
And that must be quite hard, because I would imagine that August would be at odds with that philosophy if you were to sell land to him.
He is not especially, but he would not take as much care because it is not his home. This is our home.
Did you oppose him coming into the area?
As I said, I wanted to consider it. We are not fools, and we wanted to weigh it up and consider. And I have an open mind about this matter.
What if he'd bought the land but not your sawmill?
I would be surprised if he had bought the land and not my sawmill. That is not the kind of man you're talking about.
So you only saw Yotfrid and Niels the morning before everything happened. Who did they visit while they were here? So they visited with you, and did they visit with the Skitz family? And who were the last people to be with them before the incident happened?
It would have been Skitz. Dorothea was Skit would have. They must have spent a significant amount of time with her.
But you didn't see them leave or where they were going.
I didn't see, but if I know they must have spent a significant amount of time, because there's no point in buying the sawmill until you buy the forest.
Yeah.
Or building a relationship with the owners of the forest and the land.
And you were still thinking about their offer, and in the meantime, they went to see the Skits.
Yeah. Yes, that would be my assumption. But
Niels says that there was some sort of beast. Have you ever heard of that?
There is a local legend of a large beast that is quick and strong and more agile and dangerous than a wolf. And it guards the church. It has glowing red eyes, and those that seek to damage holy ground regret it. It would surely be someone who has ties to such a place as holy ground. And imagine if somebody was to use that for their own ends, if such a beast existed. But these are myths and fairy tales. But that is the local legend.
So if that's just a myth, what do you think happened?
There are wolves in these lands. And people who are not familiar with them can be attacked. And it has been a harsh winter. Can somebody roll a learning test?
My learning would be 2.
Who's the most learned among you? Who's likely to be the most learned?
I think
Maybe
it's
4.
Yeah, I've got about 7 altogether.
Sounds good to me.
You're going to be the learned one for the night. You're the one. You're the smart one.
Weak but smart.
Weak. You're the weak.
Weak, smart one.
Yeah.
I only say that because of our relationship, Gabriella. So nothing close.
Yeah.
You've remarkably left
2
Rasmus alone
6s.
tonight. It's quite.
Yeah, well, I'm playing the long game.
You
Keep
say
to me, keep them game.
treat the main, stay single. Sorry, two sixes, did you say?
Yep.
You realise that this description fits. It could be a church grim, which is I'll tell you what you would know about a church grim would be that they are. Let me just get it. They keep watch over a church, and that they normally take the form of a dog, a rooster, cat, or horse, and it will attack anybody trying to harm the church, steal from the ground, or desecrate the church. They are fierce and they are ruthless. And at night, they will wander a church, ringing bells at midnight before villagers' death. You would know that. That would be sort of from myths and fairy tales that you'd have heard.
Ringing bells.
But would it be big enough? Because he said it was bigger than a man.
No.
Big rooster.
That's the one that gets
enormous
rooster.
Giant rooster.
I won't say the other.
Oh, there we go.
That took me a while, that one.
Oh dear.
I'll tell you a funny story off camera at some point. No.
No.
But so basically, what you've got is a football mascot that's one a giant rooster killing. Yeah. Yeah. So you would know that. So, is there anything else you want to know, or anything else you want to?
Can I ask then? I know Martin didn't trust the skits. How do you think that they would view August's proposals to buy the land?
They would probably. I don't know with them. I don't know. They are odd people. They could try to purchase land, or they could try to sell the land if the price was high enough. They're very mercenary, very little principle. I know that they've been talking to the priest recently.
They lived in the village a long time.
Yes. We don't have many visitors in this place.
So when you say they were talking to the priests, about what?
You need to ask the priest.
Seems an interesting statement.
Well, it wasn't about religion. They don't go very often to our church, unless there's been a massive transformation. Okay. But they were talking quite hushed tones. I saw them doing it recently, a few days before the incident.
In this mentioned about a grim that may be protecting the church. Smith, does anybody control such a creature, or do they just act on their able to control one?
Are you asking Marta?
Yeah.
This is a local legend. I do not know. It would be. She twiddled her moustache. I don't know.
You never know.
Very insular place.
Okay. But now I'm asking you, would we know something like that? Would we know that? Or is that something that's
out of character? You would know the stuff that I told you, so you would know that.
Right.
And she actually said, I mean, one of the things that she mentioned was that it would surely, the thing of legend would obey somebody with ties to the church.
Oh yes, that's probably what I was thinking. What I was thinking on the lines of. Okay.
Any bells ringing at midnight recently?
There was one. There wasn't. I don't know. I sleep very well. I sleep like a log.
Okay.
She finds that hilarious that she said that as well, because that's the best joke that's been told in these parts for the last 10 years.
So do you go to the church? Do you see much? Do you see the priest much? Do you have much of a friendship with the priest?
I would visit our church quite frequently. I frequent it because I'm village leader. It's incumbent upon me.
Mm-hmm. Somebody said when we asked about village that the people there had the blood of God on their hands. What do you think about that?
You weren't listening to people from the other villages, were you? They are jealous because we are happy here. And outsiders don't understand sometimes.
So would you maybe be willing to introduce us to some people in the village? I presume that you won't introduce us to the skits because you're not necessarily friendly with them, or
I can and I can point you in the direction of a few places that may be of interest to visit. But who would you like to? Let's see. Who would you like to talk to?
I think the priest would be a nice person to talk to.
I can take you to the church. It's a truly beautiful place. I would assume that the priest will be there because he does spend a lot of time there in his duties. If I can find him, Inger Nystrom. So let's just see if we can find it. Where are we at? So you go to the church, and this is what it looks fairly sort of standard as churches go. But it is pretty beautiful. It's old stone. It's impossible to miss it. It's located in the outskirts of the town, and hidden under the it's hidden under the tree branches. As you enter the church, you're going to be greeted by Ingvar Nystrom. I'm hoping, he comes up about here. So this is Ingvar. So Ingvar Nystrom greets you, and he's very, very polite. He's quite timid, and he comes up and he says to you, "Oh, hello, you must be the outsiders. How are you? I trust you had a good journey."
We did, thank you. Thank you for your hospitality in the village.
Oh, they are an interesting parish that I have here. It's an interesting place.
How long have you been here?
I've served here all my adult life, for many years.
Were you born in the village?
I was not, but I came in I was sent to this place, and it was my calling. I was sent here, missioned here, and I've served for many decades now.
It's a beautiful church.
It is. Hans was very careful to maintain it, and I shoulder that burden. As you can see, we have several unusual features. We've got a slightly smaller baptismal font than is normal in the big cities, I believe. And you can see here there's a plaque with an unusual font on it.
What's the back say?
And what does it say?
It talks about how it was given the dedication of the building, or there's a money given to us by the Karlström family, Marta's great grandfather, I believe.
How do you feel about August von Mierge's purchasing of the land and the logging that he might do and those changes that he might bring to the village?
I think we have to do what's best for the village. I am here to serve the village, not to answer for it. I have to look after what's best for the village and the villagers.
Are all the villagers God-fearing people? Do they all attend the church, or there are some that have turned their backs?
Oh, they are typical, I would say, of many parishes. There are the faithful, and there are the faithless, and there are the flaky, I think is the phrase. They come whenever they feel they need to come. But all are welcome here. Even
what about the
such as you.
skits? Sorry.
Even such as you.
What about the Skits family? Do they come often? Do you speak to them often?
I occasionally have spent some. They come and I listen to people, and sometimes they come on church, and sometimes they come outside churches. My job to listen and to look out for the needs of this community. And sometimes that means I just listen to people. The Skits do not particularly attend. They do not particularly not attend. They are a family that are very busy, but yeah.
You were seen speaking to them in hushed tones. What were you talking about?
Let me see if I can find it.
Let me see if I can remember.
Let me see if I can remember. Yes, that's it. What happens between a priest and a parishioner is a sacred thing. Otherwise known as I can't find it.
What about, so we heard somebody described the people in the village as having the blood of God on their hands. They were guilty of something. Dramatic. What do you think about that?
It's rather dramatic language. No doubt
Okay.
said by people from outside the village who who want to paint us as an inbred, degenerate place. But you've seen the place. It's a quiet little backwater.
It does well to maintain a church for so long with so few people.
This was built in the Middle Ages. It has been here for such a long time. And we have enough faithful that we can cope.
When you said that when we were talking about the sale of the woodlands for logging, and you said that your interest is in protecting what's best for the village. I wondered what you meant. Whether you saw that the income from the sale and the logging and the jobs would be best for the village, or the preservation of the woodland would be best for the village.
It is not my job to make these decisions. I own nothing, and the church itself will be protected. This is my place. So I have no fixed opinion on these matters. I know that there was some interesting aspects. Can somebody roll observation, please?
Oh, I've got a 6.
Yeah, my observation's 3.
4. So
Right.
2.
Ooh, wow, it's 3 successes. I see everything.
good.
Okay. So, whenever you were talking about the sale, you mentioned Hammerstrom and Blindskold, and he gets very uncomfortable. I'm actually going to stop sharing for a second. He gets noticeably uncomfortable. And he says, so you can ask a few questions at this point if you would like, and I will answer them very, very honestly, shall we say.
What do you think happened to the 2 men that arrived here about the purchase?
Something terrible. I do not know.
It's the last one. Sorry.
Pardon? No,
Go on.
I do not know.
When was the last time you saw them?
I didn't have a lot of contact with them, to be honest. I did spend a little bit of time with Hammerstrom on a few occasions. And he wanted to entice the villagers to sell their land. He wanted to, some would say, dupe the villagers to entice to sell their land. Like I said, I have no opinion on this matter. I think it is important that people make an informed and right decision for them. They think it through for themselves, and he wanted to manipulate them, and I was not comfortable with that.
You
Did
said
you want to stop him? Sorry.
No, Astrid. Go on, Astrid.
Did you want to stop him?
I would not say stop him, but I was not comfortable with his methods. My Von Meyer has an honourable reputation. I have no doubt about that, but This man did not have honourable methods. He wanted to tempt people. And that, as a man of God, I'm not comfortable with.
You said that no matter what the village did, the church would be protected. What did you mean by that?
I am a man of faith. This is a place of God. It will be okay.
But you said this church would be protected. Why did you say this church and not the
Because
church?
it's been here for such a long period of time, and it is the way that you can had to appear.
Beast. There's a beast here.
There it is.
The eyes.
You can roll a manipulation. Somebody can roll manipulation. We all know who that'll be.
Yeah. Asmus.
Yeah.
Twisty McTwisty. That's what this.
Into feast of famine, rather. Not one.
Not one.
Not one.
Oh
Not
dear.
one. Seven dice, not one.
No.
I know that this is God's Ecker. I know this is God's Ecker. And he will protect what is his, as he has through dangerous times. This has been a long-standing house of God, and it has been through dangerous times. It will stand still. It is a special place, and it is protected.
Doesn't happen to be any massive animals about, does it?
Other than the wolves in the forest, I would not know. You must forgive me. I have some duties to perform. I have to go and visit an elderly parishioner.
Just one quick question. Are there any bells in this church?
It is a church. Of course there are bells. How
Do
else?
you ever ring them at midnight?
Why would I do such a thing?
Have you ever heard them ring at midnight?
Not in my memory. Not consciously, but I do sleep rather deeply. As you know, the joke that goes around like a log.
Like a log, yeah, we've heard that a lot recently.
That one
Yeah.
recently.
Lots of heavy sleepers around here.
It's the fresh air and the hard work. But
Okay.
as I said, I must go.
Okay.
So he wanders out. Feel free to not desecrate the place, but you're free to find peace here.
Thank you for your time.
You're most welcome. I didn't overact that one.
Perfect.
Bearing in mind, I knew nothing. What I suddenly went, I have no idea what he was going to say. Right, so what are you going to do?
So I've had a crazy idea. Since we're maybe in the graveyard, I was thinking I could maybe use my medium skills with my crystal ball and my observation and my advantage of observation, and to try and find some things out from the dead.
Whoa.
Ooh.
So you could try and do the crystal ball working out a clue thing.
Yeah.
So you will need to do an observation roll, and then the crystal ball will give you a +1 for your observation. And you took, was it? Did you
My
take
advantage as well.
Okay, go for it.
So I've got. So do I put one in for medium?
Yep.
1 in for my advantage.
Yeah, or 2 in for your advantage.
Oh, 2 in for my advantage.
And then your observations 1.
And 2 for empathy. Okay.
And then also you get 1 extra for your crystal ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Voila. Oh, I've got 2 6s.
Okay. Now I'm going to see what. Okay. You know what? I'm going to actually. Okay, so you see, you're in the graveyard. Is that right? So.
Yeah, if you think so.
That's
wherever's best.
wherever will get me with those clues.
Yeah.
So, well, I get those clues. That'll do. Basically, you can see in the crystal ball. It seems to just really go into a path. You see the path appear at the edge of the graveyard, and you can see that somebody has tried to sweep the gravel path, and they swept it to hide what seems to be tracks. It's almost like they shine out in the crystal ball. These tracks shine out, and they seem to be the tracks of a large feline, about twice the size of a grown man's feet, leading away from the church. And you also find yourself caught. It then switches across, because you get 2 successes, to the border of. It switches across to pictures to crows flying down. So you see this crows flying down out of the sky. And it seems to be near the edge of the graveyard, but you don't know where. You get a real impression that it's something near the edge of the graveyard. Right now. So do you want to? The church itself hasn't got anybody there at the minute as well. I'm just going to say that it's open at the minute, so you might want to look at the picture that is there.
Yeah, I wanted to have a look around and maybe have a better look at this plaque as well.
The plaque is basically a really dull plaque. It's just it's kind of what you can see is actually the one thing that stands out is that beside it there's another plaque to somebody called Hans Johansson, and it's clear that it's a very small little unintrusive plaque with Hans Johansson who served here faithfully for many years, and it gives you the dates. Yeah.
So what are the dates? Are the dates recently or?
They go to about 3 decades before. So he died 3 decades before the time it is now.
He was one that the priest mentioned at looking after the church.
He was, and from his age, you can work out that he was about 48, 49. From the plaque, you can work it out.
Is there anything else in the church that's significant?
Not at the minute. You're in the main, so you're sitting in the sort of main bit. I don't know what you call it, the main bit of the church. I'm sure there's a name for it. Pews.
You mentioned earlier that the font was smaller than normal.
Yeah.
Can we have a look at that?
Yeah. Does somebody want to roll an investigation, please?
Investigation. Does my equipment come in to investigation?
What's your equipment?
It's like my hunting dog.
Oh.
Or is that only when I'm outside?
It's only. I think it's only whenever you're outside. It's vigilant. Yeah, it would be whenever you're outside. So.
Yeah, because my hunting equipment I know is only outside.
I can do an investigation. I can add my magnifying glass to it, which gets me +1 to the 7 I've got.
Yeah.
A lot better than mine.
Shock horror, the private detective's good at investigating. It's unusual. Not just a set of knuckle dusters.
3 6s.
The font, as you look at it carefully, you realise it is slightly smaller than usual. That's it.
Oh.
No trapdoor. Nothing.
Also got something carved into it. It's got a small herring, and it's been painted red.
Oh, I see.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
I'm so glad that we rolled for that herring, that red
That's
one.
your one good roller tonight. I can't even roll tonight.
Yeah, my one goes on that.
What about back in the sacristy? Can we get back there, or can we get up to the bell tower?
The sacristy, you can. No, I'm just going to check something out because this is awful. I don't know what most of these things are. This is a terrible thing. So, yeah, so you basically, oh gosh. It's locked.
Oh, okay.
So you could try and pick it.
I can force it. I have a crowbar.
Just be aware somebody will know you've done that.
Yeah. Do I want to force something in a church, particularly when there's something that may protect?
Yeah.
Against those.
You want me to find out what it is?
Or maybe we draw it out that way.
What would we need to pick the lock? What kind of?
It's going to be a stealth.
Stealth. I've got quite a lot of stealth.
So you can grab a hat pin.
Yeah, I'm not bad. I'm not bad at stealth. Too.
So
you could work out and help each other.
I've got 8 for stealth.
Oh, I got 7.
Oh, close.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Help each other, or
one of you can roll the main one, the other one can roll an extra dice to help, so they can sort of go log like this before.
Great. I'll do them. Yeah.
So if Astrid rolls, I just roll 1 dice, do I?
Yeah.
I got a 5.
I got 2 6s.
Okay, so the door gives quite easily. You manage to unpick it. And because you get the extra success, you realise you're going to have to make sure it's locked again whenever you come back, because otherwise people know you've been there. And you go into the sacristy, whatever. Sacristy. And you.
Where they get ready.
Yeah. Is that what it is? All right. Okay. Oh.
Does that make sense now?
It's where the priest gets his robes on and stuff.
Okay. Can't remember what. There's some anyway. You go in and it's basically a little office. Then that makes more sense to this.
Yeah.
So you find some notes, priest notes, And I'm going to see if I can find them. Should we stop sharing a second? And hopefully not give away all the clues in one go by flicking through to the right place. Not that one, not that one, not that one. Actually, nope, I don't have a picture of those ones. Oh, that's helpful. Oh, is that it? Yeah. So let's get it. So basically, what you see is on the note is this. If somebody can read that.
Well, Miss Karlstrom recently came to visit for a cup of coffee. We had a conversation and she complimented me on how what does that say? Unite faster in one faith. Her praise warmed my heart and the woman was very sweet. She then started asking questions about Mr. Hammerstrom, the man from the large sawmill in Harnsand. She wanted information about the business deals he was trying to negotiate, and there was something unsettling in her tone of voice. I see temptation in her eyes, temptation suggesting that she is not a God-fearing woman. Perhaps she will tempt the others to sell their land.
Oh.
So she wants to sell, unlike, which is not quite what she said to us.
No. You can do an investigation as well. And I'm trying to see if somebody can do an investigation, you see if there's anything else to find, basically.
3 on investigation.
We've only got 6.
I'm not
But I
doing
think Gabriella's got good investigation.
Yeah, I think it's about 7 altogether.
Mm.
Okay, so that's 2 6s.
Right, so let me just check. Oh, I don't know if you're going to find anything. I don't know if there's much to find, to be honest.
No.
It's one of those
Not more carvings of fish.
Well, now that you mention it, it's not more carvings of fish, but I just need to check. Yes, you detect a loose brick, and basically it's a loose stone on the wall, and hidden behind it is a text. And the text says, I'm going to have to close this. And I'm going to have to find it again. It's going to be that kind of night. Sorry about this. Right, you see this. It's quite an old text. If you hear the sound of fleeing birds, snapping branches and loud footsteps, you shall be its next victim. Pray then that your fate will be swift, for staring into its infernal gaze can plunge even the purest mind into madness. Those who threaten the place of God will suffer its wrath. This fell guardian is our church grim, larger than a stag, stronger than a bear, and more agile than a lynx. He watches over God's acre, running faster than a horse. It hunts down anyone who endangers this place. It rests at the place where the Lord's eyes are watching.
Lord's eyes are watching.
Doesn't say that it rests at the church.
Well, we saw its footprints going off on a path.
Yeah.
And there was something to do with the edge of the graveyard, wasn't there? So that kind of makes sense.
So we either do have a church grim, or we have somebody imitating a church grim and using the legend to keep people away.
So we can kind of, so I guess that if it is the grim that killed Gottfried Hammerstrom, presumably he was threatening the church, or the priest at least felt that he was threatening the church. Is Miss Kay next? I wonder.
Yeah, if he thinks that if the village way of life is threatened, he may consider that a threat to the church.
Yeah, Marta Karlström is also a threat. I wonder if she should watch her back.
Do we know what defences do we have against a church grim? Do we know what we can do to protect, or we should do if it is a church grim that we come across?
No, not such. All you know is that it would be something that would defend. You know what you were basically told, in the sense of it being something that can defend a specific spot. And I'm just going to check something out and see if you would know this. No, you wouldn't be aware. You wouldn't necessarily be aware without. You'll need to find out more to find out, basically.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to roll the dice and just see what happens. As you're in this spot, outside you can hear some crows. And they're cawing quite loudly.
Those crows were in the crystal ball as well. So should we go and investigate the crows?
Yeah.
Somebody could roll a learning test.
Not me.
I have 7 for learning.
Go. I have nothing. Not very much at all.
Three sixes.
Okay, you know the crows are notorious for feeding on dead animals.
I think we should go and have a look. I'm interested to know, though, if there's within the church any pictures of God or statues or Jesus. So
it's a Lutheran church, so there's not a lot. It's not that they're quite sparse.
Okay. I was just thinking about the eyes of Lord's eyes are watching, whether there was something but okay. So I guess I'm up for going out to have a look, investigating on.
So
why the crows are there.
As you sort of go, you see a flock of crows down in one corner of the churchyard. And you go up. I'm assuming you're going to go up to where they are. And you can see, as you get closer, there's quite a strong smell of something rotten in the air. And as you reach the place with the crows, you find Hammerstrom's twisted corpse lying on the ground. At least you think that's who it's for. If somebody can roll medicine or learning.
I've got 6 for medicine.
Got 5.
And
7 for learning.
Gabriela's got 7 for learning.
Either of them.
So I would say you could do your learning and your medicine. I would say both of them could go parallel.
Okay, so not with me just studying an extra dice, but the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
One 6.
Okay. It basically
Got 2 6s.
So you can tell that something huge, a huge predator, has attacked this man. He's been clawed to pieces. He's twisted, and bones are broken as they've been hit. You've got a limited number of things that could do this. In basically Nordic fauna, the only reasonable alternatives would be a very large wolf or a bear, and it'd be an unusually large wolf. In terms of Vaesen, it could be anything from church grim or werewolf to something even worse than that. So like a giant or something like that. Yeah. Now, do you want to search the body?
Is there is there a roll I could make because of my past encounter with a werewolf and having seen the damage it's done to someone else? Is there any way that I could possibly tell? Is there a roll I could make to tell if it could be a werewolf?
No, it's a canine, but you couldn't guarantee it's a werewolf. You can tell it's a canine of some kind.
But we can search the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, as you search, who wants to search it?
What do we need to search?
I'll just say you're going to search it.
Oh, yeah. We'll search the body.
Go ahead.
Right, I'm hoping I can find this.
Ooh, what are those others that we can see?
Right, so who's searching it?
I'll search.
Okay, Rasmus searches.
I like sneaking stuff.
Oh, I'm still sharing. Oh my darn it!
Yeah.
Oh, I'm numpty.
I just said. Oh, well, look at all the.
No, we're not looking at the side.
Oh bother. Anyway, it's hard to read. This is what he finds, and actually nothing else happens other than he gets a bit of goo, and there's blood that's congealed, and he cleans his hands off on a rather dirty hanky afterwards. So this is to Mr. G. Hammerstrom. Meet me at the church after dark. I have some words that may help you in your endeavour. Regards, Einstrom.
Now he said that, didn't he say, like, didn't we ask him when the last time was he saw him, and he didn't say it was in the church after dark, did he?
No.
They're very dodgy.
Didn't say I wrote him a note to get him to come and meet me.
I knew that would get him killed by Grim.
So, what are you going to do? I'm just looking to see is there anything else about that you need to.
I guess that the crow was the crows were the bit of my vision that said that was where the body was. There's another bit of the vision about the path that leads away from the church. But should we?
Yeah. Sorry. Just before you do that, can somebody roll an observation check or an investigation?
Well, as we're now outside, I've got my hunting dog, haven't I?
Yeah.
So that means my investigation goes to 1.
I wouldn't. No, it's to do with the note. So since the dog can't read,
right.
Because that would be a bit weird. They'd be like, I'll take this encyclopedia outside, and the dog will help me.
I thought it was a general investigation we were doing.
We're relevant.
I'd have 3 then, without
I've
without
got
the dog's help.
6 for observation.
Oh, good. I've only got 4.
Got
Gabriella?
nothing in observation.
That my equipment.
I've got nothing in observation, but I've obviously got investigation. But
Got a 6, 1 success.
You don't basically. You notice that it's been done in a very cool manner. Whoever's done this has been quite methodical. They've written it down. They haven't been in an emotional state. So, so at the minute, I'm just thinking, there was something else. Oh. Yeah. So basically, you are now in this position where, what do you want to do next, I guess, is the...
So the options realistically are to follow the path and go into the woods, go back either inside the church or go into the village and talk to the Skip family.
Let me get you I'll get you the village so you can see it, because you've seen all the rest of it anyways.
There's the Skip family home.
Yeah.
There's also the general store and the village hall. We've been nowhere near. Do we want to do that before we go along the path?
Yeah. I think we should go back into the village.
From your visions, we know that something will happen when we go into the woods, and with all the other stuff we've learned about the Church Grim. So maybe we're better finding out a little bit more about what's going on in the village before we go and tackle that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's midday.
Mm-hmm.
So you can probably visit one place, maybe 2 if you're quick. Depends on how big they are. Some places are small.
Do we want to go to the Skip family home and see if we get fed?
Yeah.
I love this. You think like I think.
We're going to go and get fed.
Why not?
Yeah.
okay.
So it's a red wooden house, 2 stories, an inclined roof. It's been handed down over generations, renovated time and again. It's large and spacious. You knock on the door, and you're greeted by Dorothea. Now, Dorothea is this woman, and she is smiling in the doorway, and she said she wondered how long it would take you to show up. And she offers you, indeed she does offer you tea and or coffee and sandwiches with whey butter and some cookies. So she invites you in and she offers you some food. You are indeed fed. And you notice there's no servants. But her and her daughter are both involved in helping you out and feeding you. So there's no sort of standing on parade kind of thing. So,
thank you for welcoming us into your home. Don't know if you know why we're here.
I would imagine you're here to find out about Hammerstrom and what happened to him.
Yes. What do you think has happened to him?
No. I met him several times. Invited him to my home. As you may already know, I own the forest, more forest than anyone else in the village, and I wanted to sell it to Von Mayer's company. So his purpose in being here was coming to see me was to negotiate a deal. I don't know exactly what happened to him, but that is all I know. I know something terrible happened to him.
Did he speak to you about selling some of the land?
He asked me. We were in negotiation. We were negotiating a contract. I have to say I was holding out a little bit because I wanted a good amount so that my daughter and I can go and start a life somewhere. And Wilhelmina can see the world beyond Farnsta. No offence, not just to Uppsala, but see a bit further afield.
Oh, so you want to leave the village?
There's a big world out there. There's a big world out there.
That's unusual. It doesn't seem that many people do leave the village.
Opportunities are opening up. The world is changing. We must change with it.
Does anybody not want you to sell the land in the village?
There are those who would wish to stay the same forever.
You were seen speaking with the priest in hushed tones. What were you talking about?
I was seeking his counsel on how to negotiate a little bit better deal.
Why would the priest be able to help you with that?
He will not judge me. He will not judge me. And I wanted counsel from a godly man.
And did you tell him why you wanted to sell?
He knows that I want the best for my daughter. He understands that.
Did you know we found his body? We have found Bill. Was it? Oh gosh, what's his name?
Hammerstrom.
Yeah, Gottfried.
She looks visibly distressed. And she looks away and she just... I'd hoped he'd just left. Can somebody roll a manipulation or observation?
Rasmus, you're up.
Yeah. Manipulation. 7. 4, 7. There's 1 there. 1 success.
How many?
1.
1. The deal came to a halt because Hammerstrom could not get Marta to sell her sawmill, which he wanted to sort out before making a deal with me. And I disclosed to him about there is an iron deposit under the church.
Oh.
Because I thought if he was buying that land, it made the whole deal more lucrative without the sawmill.
And who knows about this?
It's not common knowledge, but it's not secret. Not to people in the village. But it's not something we discuss every day. And those of us in the more business-minded community are aware of it.
But
Hammerstrom said on the night of his disappearance, he probably had found a solution.
Did he say what that solution was?
He didn't. But he was determined after that iron mill, after I told him about the iron, to seal this deal. He was determined.
But how do you get the iron without destroying the church? Does that mean he would have to destroy the church?
I do not think the mayor would destroy the church. He may have moved bits of it, but I can't imagine he would simply destroy. And I would say he would, knowing the nature of the man and the value of iron, he may have decided to unbuild it. If you know, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Rebuild it, move it.
Move it. Relocate it somewhere.
Yeah.
Did Von Mayer know about the iron?
He wouldn't know. But I believe he trusted Hammerstrom.
Yeah.
In the way he talked.
So Hammerstrom had not been able to tell anybody else outside of the village that he knew about the iron.
Not unless they've invented a way of talking across the miles.
Oh, such things are fanciful.
How ridiculous. Imagine that.
I know.
Crazy. Seeing people's faces and
Talking to them as if across some kind of electronic net.
seeing people. You've been reading Mr. Stevenson's work again, haven't you?
Yeah.
Which will be written in 20 to 30 years' time.
Well, I do have a crystal ball. So.
True.
Right.
Okay.
What else would you like to...
So, that's a bit confusing. So, Miss Curlstrom wants to sell, but she was holding out maybe for a better price. But then...
Can somebody roll observation, please? There's something that I've missed here, and it's quite useful if you've got it.
6.
Well, what? Sorry for...
Observation.
6 for me.
I've only got 3 for observation.
Oh, 2.
Um,
Successes.
whenever you asked about her wanting to move, she was holding something back. She's got reasons that she wants to move.
She wants to get her away, doesn't she? Wonder why that is.
So, what do you want to do?
What should we do, guys? Go to the sawmill or to the town hall? Or
I wouldn't mind looking at the sawmill.
yeah.
Okay. As you leave, can somebody roll vigilance?
Roll which?
Vigilance.
I have a 7 for vigilance.
Oh, good.
Hang on a sec. Vigilance. 3. Yeah, I think mine's 6.
Was that with your dog as well? I meant to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 6.
There is a figure in the bushes. You can see a figure in the bushes outside the house, lurking in the shrubbery. There's somebody lurking in Dorothea's shrubbery.
Ooh. Drag them out.
Yeah.
Can we go over and...
You're going to need to roll an agility test.
Okay.
Okay, mine is 6. My agility.
Mine's 6 too.
And so's mine.
Oh.
That's the
Very agile people.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Who's going to roll it?
You all roll 2, and I'll just... Everybody roll 2 dice.
Okie dokie.
Yep, I got a 6.
No.
No.
Okay, so you manage...
Wait. Oh, no. No.
So you managed to catch the person. Would you like to know who they are?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You're not allowed to go.
We're not. Rasmus is bothered. He's like, well.
This is going to be... Cliffhanger. No.
He's dressed as a red fish. No.
No, this is who it is.
It's a mermaid.
Ooh. Marty doing sneaking around.
I see. You've caught me. You must not trust this woman. You must not trust this family. They are evil. She is an ungodly woman who is dangerous, worships dark and terrible powers. I was watching over you to make sure that you were not in danger. And people who go in that house, some horrible things have happened to them.
How can you say she's ungodly when she will turn to the priest? She turned to the priest when she needed guidance.
I was hoping you wouldn't ask that. The priest met with Hammerstrom on the night of his disappearance. I believe this woman manipulated him. Hammerstrom is a godly man and a God-fearing man. He detests people like Von Meyer who think they are God's conquering nature and he wanted to eliminate the temptation. Hammerstrom presented to those willing to sully Farnsta by selling their land. I believe that she tried to manipulate him, but instead she incited him.
Incited the priest?
I believe so.
Incite him to do what? What power does the priest have?
He met, if the legend is true, if he is the gatekeeper, he is the one who holds the lead, so to speak, and lets forces off the leash. He met Hammerstrom of the night at that night. I believe this to be the case.
And you think he called the Grim to destroy him, to kill him?
I would be fairly sure that if this legend, this fairy tale is true, it is logical he would be the one who could control it.
But you think that he was being in turn controlled by Dorothea?
I think Dorothea bit off more than she could chew.
But Dorothea wants to leave this place, so why would she destroy the one thing that would help her leave?
I don't believe that was her intention. I think she wanted to manipulate the priest to convince Hammerstrom to give her a better deal.
Oh. Have you heard, and is it true, that there's iron underneath the church?
I did not know this. I did not know this.
Could it be true?
How would anyone know? There was no digging.
Dorothea seems to think there is. And she seems to think it's common knowledge. And as the main person of the village,
I told she is dangerous. She will say and twist like Satan himself. She will never tell you the full truth. It is coming to nightfall. We must come and we will chat on the way home. You will be hungry after your investigations.
You seem to always be hungry.
It's cold up north.
It is.
Okay.
Will that searching through dead bodies make us peckish?
Yeah. I forgot to read you out the description of that. It's quite good, but I won't do it now.
It gross.
Yeah.
Is it a bit bad before bedtime?
Yeah. So, what do you want to do? Do you want to follow her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you follow her. You have a very good meal. Yet again, venison, but cooked differently this time. There's quite a lot of deer, or there were. They're starting to get less than. As you go to bed that night, you lay down. The air is very cold, or comparatively cold, and the fresh air has made you very drowsy and very sleepy, and you fall asleep. Can everybody roll a dice and tell me what you get?
Just one.
Yep.
3.
1.
1.
2.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Rasmus, you sleep through the night. Astrid, you sleep through the night. Maddie, you sleep through the night. Gabriella,
Oh no.
at midnight, you're woken by a bell.
I knew it.
A church bell
Okay.
is ringing.
Dum, dum, dum.
And at that, I'm going to say stop because it's it's 20 to 11, so it's not a bad place to stop.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
I think that's quite a good point to stop.